Hello and welcome back to AI Honest
and CTO News Thursday, your go-to podcast for understanding AI regulations and its impact on businesses.
I am Marianne, co-founder of AI Honest, an exclusive responsible AI conference coming to Biarritz on October 15 and 16, 2025. Join us to explore risks, regulation, and opportunities to turn compliance into a competitive edge.
And I'm John James Abaddon, General Manager for IT Labs Group Limited and the founder of CTO News Thursday.
Today, we're taking you on a trip across the globe to Peru. We're joined by Renzo Diaz Giunta, a legal expert in AI governance, cybersecurity, and democracy. Renzo is director at the Global Democratic Organization, associate at iGlobal.Lawyer, and has served as a Parliamentary Technician at the Congress of Peru.
Renzo, welcome. Now, before we get started and discuss today's session, please could you share a bit more about your background and what iGlobal.Lawyers does?
I'm a lawyer specialized in international human rights law and constitutional law. I've worked in both the private and public sector, as well as international organizations like the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. Because of all the technological advancements that are happening around us, I've become more involved with topics such as digital rights, tech policy, and how these new technologies impact human rights, democracy, and rule of law. Regarding iGlobal.Lawyer, we embrace innovation. We believe in leveraging cutting-edge advancements because we're focused on tackling the multi-phase challenges that are currently happening nowadays due to the technological advancements. And we frame them from a clear legal perspective to be made understandable to all because we want to create an inclusive dialogue at the global stage. We feel honored to partner with AI on Us on this first edition.
We are going to be talking about AI and spyware, a powerful, controversial tactic, fascinating yet devastating.
Let's start with the basics. Before we get into the risk, let's define what we're dealing with. Renzo, please can you explain what AI-powered spyware is and how it works?
Sure, spyware is an intelligence gathering tool, and it does not matter if governments are democratic or authoritarian, both of them use them. Because spyware has diverse functions, tracking a user's location, collecting data like passwords, photos, and personal information. Spyware also helps monitor calls, capturing text messages, and harvesting information from the phones, apps, and camera. The most popular one is Pegasus. It was developed by an Israeli cyber intelligence firm, Enso Group. When spyware was first developed, it relied heavily on email phishing or text messages to infect a person's phone or digital device. Nowadays, though, it uses zero-click technology.
This is particularly terrifying. For our listeners who might not know, what makes zero-click spyware so dangerous and how does AI make it even more effective?
What makes it so dangerous is that users never know when their device or system has been compromised. Zero-click means that it does not require any user interaction, like for example, clicking a link or opening an attachment to infect the device or system. Instead, the spyware is injected through a hidden vulnerability or due to flaws in the software or device. AI is used as a tool to enhance the spyware for obfuscation because it makes it harder for security measures to identify and neutralize the threats that spyware poses to operating systems across the globe.
That's shocking. And we know that governments and companies have already been hit by AI-enhanced cyber threats. Can you give us some more real-world examples of how AI-powered spyware has been used?
Sure. For instance, in Jordan, Adam Kugel, Human Rights Deputy Director for the Middle East, and Hiba Sayedin, Human Rights Watch Senior Researcher, were personally targeted by the Jordanian government with Pegasus. These cyber attacks on their phones occurred in the context of the publication of a report that documented the persecution and harassment of citizens who organized peaceful protests to express political dissent against the government. Also, on their 2023 report about spyware and secret state surveillance, the Council of Europe concluded that Pegasus and similar spyware, such as Candiru and Predator, have been used as a hacking and surveillance tool against journalists, lawyers, politicians, and human rights activists in Poland, Hungary, Greece, Spain, and Azerbaijan.
Now that we understand the threat, let's talk about the defense. What best practices can businesses implement to protect themselves from AI-powered spyware?
Businesses need to understand the importance of investing in cybersecurity and providing training. The results of doing the opposite can be expensive beyond economical implications for a company. It can even cost them their reputation. Such is the case of Bank of America, which notified 414 people early 2025 that their names, addresses, phone numbers, passport numbers, social security numbers, and their mortgage loan numbers might have been compromised in a data breach. Also, in Argentina, the personal and financial information of the people who work security at the airport were reportedly compromised following a cyber attack, and small amounts were deducted from the employees' salaries. Some best practices that businesses can implement are the following: using AI-based antivirus and endpoint detection and response (EDR) system that can detect anomalies in real time. They should also encrypt sensitive data, implement privileged access management to limit the data employees can access. They have to align the cybersecurity practices of other companies with compliance regulations such as ISO 27001, CCPA, and IST, GDPR.
Renzo, can I ask you real quick to clarify what is the CCPA?
CCPA stands for California Consumer Privacy Act. It is worth mentioning that it focuses on the privacy measures that businesses need to apply to protect and process the personal data of consumers across the market.
And here's an interesting question. Can AI be used to protect us from AI-powered threats? Have you heard of that company that built AI agents to waste scammers' time by keeping them on the phone longer? For instance, Virgin Media O2 introduced Daisy, an AI bot designed to engage phone scammers in prolonged, unproductive conversations, thereby preventing them from targeting real scammers. Similarly, in Malaysia, Scammers on Hold AI is a chatbot developed to engage fraudsters in endless, trivial conversations, aiming at frustrating them and reducing successful scam attempts. These initiatives demonstrate the potential of using AI to combat malicious activities. Applying a similar approach to counter AI-powered spyware could involve deploying AI systems that detect and engage malicious spyware or actors, diverting them from causing harm. However, implementing such strategies could require careful consideration of cybersecurity measures and ethical implications. Could you think of a similar approach for countering AI-powered spyware?
These innovations are quite interesting and highlight that there are technologies being developed to counter the advancements in spyware and protect the user's data and devices. I think the best approach relies on strengthening operating systems so that they are able to detect cyber attacks and notify the users if their devices have been compromised. As I mentioned before, spyware relies on vulnerabilities in the coding or software to infiltrate a device. Hence, it is important that companies invest their resources on cybersecurity so there are constant updates available for the users to shield their devices from these threats. For instance, when Apple has detected unusual activity consistent with a spyware attack, they notify users through their email addresses and phone numbers associated with the user's Apple account. There's no denying that spyware such as Pegasus is a cyber weapon. Consequently, it should only be used in exceptional cases, as a last resort, when human lives are in imminent danger or there are national security concerns, similar to when it was used in 2016 as a tool to assist in the arrest of drug cartel leader El Chapo. Technology is neither good nor evil. It is merely an instrument. Its impact will always depend on how people use it. Therefore, it is fundamental that there is legislation in place that clearly regulates when a government can use its power, as well as establishes limits to it.
Thank you for that, Renzo. I think you said it very well. Technology itself cannot solve everything, hence why regulation is so important as well. So we really want to take advantage of having you with us today to talk about the Latin America's AI landscape.
AI on Us, CTO News Thursday, a 10-minute mini web series to democratize the complexity of AI changes by bringing to the table major concerns, current observations, and latest initiatives.